Hey everybody, it is Dungeon Master Mark. So today's level of our quarantine gaming session number, I believe it's 17, and this will be game 17, and this will be level 7 of the depths into the Undermountain. This is probably one of the most diabolical session setups I've created in a while. And I'll explain to you. So this, if it looks a little bit like a maze, it kind of is. So think of this as kind of the Dungeons and Dragons version of kind of the Running Man. If any of you remember the old Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Except for in this case, the bad guy is this mutated Minotaur. I know what you're saying. A Minotaur does not sound very challenging for a party. But this guy's going to be a little nasty. He's going to have a couple levels. Obviously a couple levels of Barbarian, and then a couple levels of Alchemist. He uses mutagens to, pardon me, to boost your strength. He's going to have like basically like a greater Tanglefoot bag, which casts kind of like web spells. And basically, just imagine this whole level is just filled with killing chambers, traps. About every 10 foot or so, it looks like there's some type of lever on the wall. Some of them are like levers you pull down. Some of them are levers you pull up. Some of them are wheels you turn. Some of them are just like push buttons. So when the party first ventures this level, they're going to come down this way. They're going to open up this door. And of course, the very first thing they notice, the door is extremely squeaky. Like, the door opens up. The first thing they're going to see is a door down this way. If they do try to open that door, it's an animated door, and it, literally starts running away. So they're like, what the hell's going on? They go over this door. It's locked. If they do pick the lock, they can go in. But basically, the whole time the Minotaur down here, he has been, using his treasure that he's gained to cast stuff like alarm spells, so he knows as soon as the alarm goes off. As soon as this door opens up, of course, these two rust monsters come out, which the Minotaur has spent a good bit of time trying to get them stuck in there, so that they try to take care of any, fighters, barbarians, things like that. So let's just go over a little bit about the different type of kill areas. The one is you'll see these like windowed areas down here, and then there's a door. If they look in there, it's very, very dark. Anywhere in the main hallway section is pretty well lit. Most of the small rooms have one very faint magical light effect in them somewhere. This one, though, is very dark, so they can't see in there immediately. Of course, the Minotaur has dark vision, so if anyone walks by there, he can try to reach out and grab someone. If it's a small character, try to pull them in, or he has a giant crossbow, a Minotaur crossbow, he can shoot out through there. And of course, the door is locked. If they do take off running, of course, he's going to give chase. Over this way is like a curtained area. Behind there is just a blank wall. There's nothing exciting in there. This room, if they do go into this room, they first go in this room. It's fairly dark. They do see a small hole leading out that way. This door here is warded, so as soon as they go through there, it sets off an alarm. What they do not realize is that the Minotaur is actually expecting this. As soon as someone starts crawling out this way, of course, he has the lever on the outside of the door rigged so that it's going to drop, hopefully, try to hurt one of the party members, and drop a block there, hopefully do some damage. And then they're trapped in the room so that he can either shoot his crossbow through the bars on the wall, or he can kind of take his time and try picking them off one by one. Like I said, he does have the giant Tanglefoot bags. So if he does need to back up, he can throw those down, which basically acts like a web spell. He also has like some smoke grenades, things like that. The portcullises take a rather high strength, which obviously he can make. If 2 or 3 of the party members work together, they can lift those. They're also extremely, extremely noisy. This is kind of his own private chambers. I feel like some straw matting I'm going to put down to make it look a little bit more lived in. Over in this area, for some reason, this door is unlocked. If they do go in that room, you see where there's these arrow slits. So on the other side, that is an area where the Minotaur can stand there and shoot out this way. If they are clever enough, they might be able to have one of the PCs sneak in there, get the Minotaur to go in there, and then maybe turn invisible. Have the party members on the other side be shooting at the Minotaur. So there's a couple ways they can try to work things against the Minotaur. Of course, this room, there's some different traps on the floor that are pretty well hidden because of the shadows. So if the party sneaks in there to try to escape from the Minotaur for a little bit, maybe get some rest, of course, there's a chance of them setting off some of the traps. Like I said, you do want to notice two of these passageways go across. The Minotaur is rather large, so it's hard for him to squeeze through there, but he can if he needs to. This one here, though, is wooden doors. If I get my camera to focus a little better. And of course, the other side is pretty well damaged. So the one thing the Minotaur, since he is used to living here, he has kind of like a number system for all the doors. So when the alarms go off and things like that, he knows what squeaking noise, what doors make, things like that. And then he has purposefully kind of decided what types of traps do what. Like this obviously is going to slow people down. Over here we have a metal door that is not locked, which should be a red flag to the players. If they go in there and try to rest for a little bit, these green spiders will start crawling down, and lo and behold, they do a dexterity damage. So hopefully making the people a little easier to hit for the Minotaur. This door, when this portcullis, when they first see that room, is up. If they go in there, of course, there's a couple of levers on either side that allow the Minotaur to close the portcullis to lock them in there until they can make a strength check to get out. And of course, this middle room, we have a wooden ramp with a ball trap. So of course, if they go down that way, it's possible for the Minotaur to manipulate the levers to try to set off that trap. So overall, like I said, it's kind of a diabolical dungeon session. If you will, there's another view of the windows. Like I said, there's not going to be a whole lot of enemies. So this is going to be kind of my equivalent of like the Running Man, or maybe like the Predator series when it's, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, another Arnold movie, right? Versus the Predator. In this case, you know, he has the big advantage, and the party has to figure out how to basically work his knowledge against him. The spellcaster in the party especially has some useful spells for this encounter. So it should be interesting to see how they can use that knowledge to their advantage. And then, of course, this large barred door, which his chamber actually has steps leading up, and that'll allow them to go to another level. All right, everybody, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all later. Bye-bye.